back to Effortless. We have been sharing some mindset shifts, belief shifts that have really changed everything for me in my business over the years. And today's is one of my favorites. So, are you ready? It's a doozy. Stop trying to not fail. I know that sounds funny, right? Whenever I say it to somebody, they're like, what? They get a little confused. They get a little defensive. Like, what do you mean? Do you want me to try and fail? Do you want me to just accept failure? And my answer is usually, well, I don't really think failure exists, honestly, which, gets more confusion and usually a chuckle. But hear me out. If you're constantly trying to not fail, you are kind of like a football team with only a defense. You might be blocking shots and avoiding issues left and right, but you're not really doing anything. You're not scoring, you're not moving down the field, you're not making first downs or whatever. You're just like holding off shittiness. And that is no way to live, my friend. When I came to understand this concept of stop trying to not fail, a lot of things opened up for me. The big one being that I felt more empowered to actually do stuff in my business. See, prior to that, there was so much fear. There was, fear-based decisions and fear-based actions and fear-based responses and just fear, fear, fear all of the time. And all of this fear stemmed from being so scared that I would screw it up. But when you adopt this idea that says, stop trying to not fail, you end up accepting this understanding that you absolutely 100% will fail. You will. It's inevitable. It's certain. If it hasn't happened yet, it will. If it's already happened, it'll probably happen again. And if you could just accept it already, it would stop holding you back. It's like you could look the fear of failure right in the face and say, yeah, I'm for sure gonna get into it with failure at some point, but that's okay. I'll be okay. I can choose that right now. Isn't that like a big freaking sigh of relief? It was for me. And then further along in my journey, accepting and understanding that really there is no such thing as failure anyway. What an opening, what a release. It becomes like, okay, what am I so scared of anyway? Absolutely nothing. And the thing is, it is absolutely nothing. You're scared of something that does not exist yet. And if you choose to believe it, it doesn't have to exist ever. It's so remarkable. What I find usually in this conversation when we get down to it is that people are scared of screwing up. And I understand that. That's a normal fear. But here's the thing, you don't have to believe that you'll always get it right. You just have to believe that you'll be able to figure it out when you get it wrong. And you will be able to. You will. You have done it your entire life. You have made it this far. You are a problem-solving machine. Literally, that's like what your brain does. Have you ever felt nervous about something and just really built it up in your head as this like really big deal? And then you put it off and you find excuses or whatever, and you don't do it. And then you finally get to the point where you have to do it. So you finally do it. And you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Huh, interesting. I was so worked up about this little old thing. This is one of those situations. In fact, most things are those situations because our thoughts create our feelings and those create our actions. But most things don't inherently mean anything. For example, answering an email doesn't inherently suck. It doesn't mean anything, right? It's just a thing. Now, our thoughts about answering that email might make us feel like it's frustrating or annoying. And then that will create this act of resistance and avoidance so that by the time we finally sit down to do it, it's become this like big, red, scary thing on our to-do list. But then we do it and we're fine and it's okay and we survive and we're like, oh, wow, why did I put it off like that? That wasn't anything. That was easy. You put it off because of your thoughts, not because writing an email sucks, but because you decided it was going to suck and then created a reality where it was this big monster of a thing. But it never was. And that's just an example for what we're talking about here. Stop giving stuff so much power over you. Stop trying to not fail. Stop playing defense and freaking out. It'll be okay. You will be okay. Just go ahead and decide that right now. A successful mindset says, I can figure anything out. A successful mindset says, I am capable and I am worthy. A successful mindset says, I can do anything. They don't say anything about failure. They don't say anything about fear. They say, I can do this. And they do. And you can adopt that mentality too. I'm curious what this idea opens up for you. What feels available to you now? If you loved this episode, take a screen grab of you listening and share it on social. Don't forget to tag me. I'm at Caitlin S. Kessler so that I can connect with you. Thank you so much for listening today.